What up, everybody? Travis with Texas Show Shine. Just driving along today, and I've seen a lot of people talking about coatings and selling coating jobs, and so I just wanted to tell y'all real quick how I've had personal success in selling coating jobs. I've installed a lot of different coatings. I started out installing C-Quartz, and I installed Glossit, G-Technique, the Crystal Serum and Crystal Serum Light, XOV3, the IGL Eco. I've installed more than that, but I've worked with a lot of different coatings, and I think the most important thing as a detailer or as a craftsman to remember is that you're the artist, you're the person who's doing the work. The coating is just a complement to your work. So you need to build value in yourself and your business and your brand and how you detail. And so whenever I guess one other thing real quick, if you're targeting clients, trying to find people to sell jobs to, you want to immediately go to the people who have this disposable income, the people that own the cars that most typically get coated. So like Hellcats and Corvettes and Denali's and the older classic cars. I mean, you want to look for the people who own cars that also have disposable money. You don't want to be trying to sell the coating jobs. Not that you don't want to sell coating jobs to like soccer moms and whatnot, but they may not find as much value and they may not have as much disposable income to invest into your service. And so you want to target those guys. I'll tell you right now, the way I've had the most success is by joining groups on Facebook, forums, car chats that are relevant to the market that I live in. So if I live in Dallas-Fort Worth, then I would join the Dallas-Fort Worth Corvette Club and the Hellcat Club and the Mopar Club and the Chevy Club and the Mustangs and all the racing groups and the car meets. And you automatically have access to those people right there in those social media outlets. And you can find the people who own the vehicles that you know will spend the money with you for your service. And at that point, what I would say is to identify some influencers within that particular group, admins or whatever it may look like, and offer them a service at a discounted rate, or don't offer it to them at a discounted rate if you can sell it to them at full price. But I'm just saying, get in front of the influencers that are managing those local groups within your market. So you would search those types of groups in your local market where you live or within a 100-mile radius. I travel all over the place. I live in Dallas-Fort Worth currently. I'm about to move to Pennsylvania, but I've traveled to Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, Arkansas, all over Texas working on cars. I mean, if you can set the price point to be right and you find the right client, then you can charge what you charge, and it can be worth your time to go and do that. That's another thing. But so target people within your local market, find or invest your energy into the people who have the disposable income that can afford your service. So whenever you do find these people, all right, so say I get a call about a coating. Whenever I start, I want to ask them a few questions to qualify. What's your normal detail regimen? How did you find me? If they found me through somebody that has already had my work, which is, a great way to get more business, is to even ask your customers for referrals. Do you know anybody who might be interested in having this done to their vehicle? And when you get into those car clubs, then you'll start to network and they'll start passing you on one to another. And it will just grow from there naturally, organically. But you got to get into several different groups, create a niche, find those people, do their cars, create some buzz, and and they'll be referring people to you. But you get the call, find out what their normal detail regimen is, what kind of car they have, what year it is. You know, you want to consider all these things as you're going into the sale. What color is it? What's your normal wash regimen? If they're driving it through tunnel washes all the time, then the car is going to be beat up. Just be prepared for that. Side note, it seems like you always have to do a two-step correction. You should be able to do a two-step correction and get just about any car 90% perfect, which is ready to send it. You get it 90%, I mean, even the best client is going to mess their car up through basic wash practices. So sometimes it's not worth fighting to get that 100% correction, because the first time somebody washes it, they're going to reintroduce some defects typically. Anyway, start talking to them, find out their regiment, and then start to tell them about what it is that you do. Okay, well, you have, let's say, a 2016 Hellcat Challenger and it's black. You just bought it, the paint swirled, and you don't like it. I would say, well, I'm going to take that car in. What I would recommend is we're going to wash it. We're going to clay it. Claying is an exfoliation of the paint. We're removing embedded contaminants. Then we're going to strip any remaining wax, oil, polymers, grease off the surface. We're going to tape it off, tape off all the trims so that the buffing liquids and whatnot don't get in the pores of the plastic. We're going to make sure that we do every single thing right and start to explain to them the steps that you're taking. Most people that are interested in having this done are interested in the process, and they don't mind spending, 5-10 minutes on the phone with you, or 15 minutes, it just depends on the person. But tell them, I'm going to tape the car, I'm going to prep it, we take all these extra steps to make sure that we protect your car, your investment, and we return it to you in a better condition that's going to be long lasting. So you prep it, and then we're going to do a two-step paint correction. Most people don't even know what that is, and even if they do think they know what it is, they really don't know too much about what it is. So just tell them, I'm going to take a machine and buffing liquids, and we're going to compound the clear coat. Scratches are just imperfect flat surface. Talk like an idiot. Defects are imperfections in the flat clear coat surface, so you have to level that out. That's how you remove defects from the paint, the swirls, the scratches. So you're going to compound it and you're going to level the surface back out. And then in order to remove defects, you have to almost create defects, like your DA haze and your micro marring from your compounding step, and just explain the fact that to really get the paint in the condition it needs to be, it requires a two-step correction. And in my first step, I create smaller defects to remove bigger defects. So then I have to come back with another pad and another buffing liquid, and I'm going to polish out the micro marring and really finish out the paint nicely. It's going to give it a nice even surface. Tell them what creates color depth is how flat the surface is. So that's why we level the surface and we give it the flattest possible surface. It requires at least 2 or 3 steps of correction. Tell them each step of correction could take up to 8 hours. You could have 16 to 20 hours in it. So just start to kind of build the picture, this bigger picture of the process that is taking place, so that the client understands, and you're building value in yourself and your service. You're educating them. They like to hear what's being done, and it sets you up to look professional. And so then from there you would move into decontamination for coating. Explain to them that the coating has to have a surgically clean surface so that it can get the proper adhesion with the surface you're applying it to. So we have to take the car through another decontamination step. So that's the second decontamination step. First, we did it for the paint correction. Now we're doing it for coating. It can take several hours. It requires a lot of chemicals. And then you're going to talk about your coating. Whenever you talk about your coating, I find that it's best to go to your top of the line service first. You want to get the clients thinking up. You want them to understand how much value you can add to their vehicle. And so I tell them, well, if it was my vehicle, we would do the gold protection plan or platinum, wherever your top of the line service is called. Let me navigate through traffic here. So what that would include is, after we detail the interior, we would apply a ceramic coating to all the leather and the plastics inside. It's going to help cut down on wear. It's going to prevent stains from, well, for the most part, it helps. It's not a miracle, but it will definitely give you a new workable surface that is resistant to stains, wear, all the typical things that diminish the value of the interior of the vehicle or deteriorate the interior of the vehicle. So we put a protectant on there that's long lasting. And then we would move to the outside, and you can talk about your paint, whatever different packages you offer. I offer a 2-year, a 5-year, and a lifetime. I install Ceramic Pro. And so I tell them, I would recommend going with the gold package, which is a 10-year or lifetime warranty, that the clear coat isn't going to fail and the coating isn't going to fail. Sell it accurately. Don't tell them that it's not going to scratch or